There comes a point in every real transformation where things suddenly don't feel peaceful or exciting anymore. In fact, they feel downright scary. But here's the surprising part. It doesn't happen at the start. Not when you're just learning or when you're unsure. It happens after you've already had a breakthrough. After something inside you shifts. After a powerful meditation, a heart-opening moment, or that feeling of finally being in alignment with your dream future. Just when everything feels like it's falling into place, bam, the fear shows up. Out of nowhere, your heart starts racing. Your mind spins with doubt. Your body feels tight and tense. You question everything. You feel like you're slipping backwards. And maybe you wonder, was that progress real? Am I going back to my old self? Let's pause here, because this is an important moment. This is not failure. This is not you doing something wrong. This is you growing. Most people misread this moment. They believe that once they feel aligned with their future, everything should feel calm and easy from there on out. But that's not how real transformation works. The truth is, the deeper the shift, the louder the fear. Why? Because you're stepping into a new version of yourself, one your body and mind don't fully recognize yet. Your old self is letting go. Your new self is coming alive. Think of it like this. When you stretch a muscle for the first time in a long time, it tightens and resists. Not because stretching is bad, but because it's new. Your subconscious mind works the same way. It wants to protect you by sticking to what it knows, even if what it knows is struggle, stress, or staying small. So when you start living from your future instead of your past, your nervous system reacts. It says, wait a minute, this isn't what we're used to. Is this safe? That tension isn't a warning sign to stop. It's a sign that you're expanding beyond your comfort zone. It's the space between who you've been and who you're becoming. This is the moment most people give up, not because they aren't strong or smart or spiritual, but because they mistake this discomfort for a sign that something's gone wrong. In reality, something is finally going right. This is the moment to pause, to breathe, to stay with yourself, not to retreat, but to regulate. Think of fear not as a red light, but as a yellow one. It's not saying stop. It's saying slow down, feel, and stay present. It's not trying to block you. It's trying to keep you safe in a world that's no longer based on your past. Let's make this super clear. You are not going backward. You are not broken. You are breaking through. Your body just needs time to catch up your future self, the one who lives in peace, purpose, abundance, love. That version of you already exists. You connected with them during your spiritual work, your prayer, your journaling, your quiet moments of knowing. But now, your physical body, your nervous system, your habits, your emotions has to catch up. It takes time for your biology to adjust to new thoughts, new feelings, and new possibilities. Your body is used to a certain emotional home. Maybe that home was worry, or sadness, or being on high alert. When you start thinking and feeling differently, your body freaks out a little. It wonders, where's the familiar stress? The struggle? The chaos we're used to? Even joy can feel scary at first if your system isn't used to it. Even calm can feel boring if your past was filled with drama. Even love can feel threatening if your past was full of pain. So your body does what it was trained to do. It tries to bring you back. Not because you're failing, but because you're healing. Fear doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're leaving the old track. It's your old identity holding on, even as your new self begins to lead. This is where most people stop and retreat. Not because they aren't ready, but because they think fear is a sign to turn around. But what if it's actually a sign to keep going? Fear is feedback, not failure. It's your system's way of saying, we're entering new territory. It's a sign that your energy is shifting, that something powerful is happening beneath the surface. You're stepping into a version of yourself who no longer lives in fear. But your body still needs proof that it's safe to stop being afraid. Let's talk about the science for a second. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, by the time you're 35, about 95% of your thoughts, actions, and emotions are automatic, run by your subconscious programming. That means you're not just thinking fearfully. You might be addicted to the feeling of fear. Your body literally craves the chemicals that stress and worry produce. So even when something good happens, like love or success, your system might panic. It doesn't know how to trust it yet. It says, wait, this feels unfamiliar. Better go back to what we know. This isn't sabotage. It's just survival. But now that you're aware of it, you can choose differently. Fear is just an old alarm system trying to protect you in a world that no longer needs that alarm. You don't need to shut it off completely. You just need to update the program. And that starts with noticing. Notice when your breath gets shallow. Notice when your jaw tightens or your thoughts speed up. These are signs your system is trying to go back to the old story. When that happens, take a breath. Place a hand on your heart. Remind yourself, I am safe. I am growing. This is part of the process. You're not here to fight fear. You're here to walk with it, to let it show up, and to gently guide it back to peace. Quantum physicist Amit Goswami talks about the quantum self as the version of you that isn't limited by your past. It already lives in alignment with your highest truth. It's the part of you that knows who you really are. But to access this self, you have to be fully present. You have to choose love over fear, alignment over control, faith over panic. That's where emotional regulation comes in. It's not just a healing tool. It's the bridge between who you are now and who you're becoming. You don't have to fake being high vibe. You just have to be present, to feel what's true, to breathe through the shift. Because here's what's happening. When you stay present in the face of fear, your energy sends a new signal to the universe. That signal says, I'm ready. I trust. I'm no longer letting the past decide my future. And the universe responds. Not always instantly, but always eventually. Your body begins to recalibrate. Your mind starts to believe. And slowly, your outer world starts to match your inner shift. This is the part no one talks about. People glamorize the vision boards, the affirmations, the magical moments. But few talk about this, the sacred discomfort, the shaky, sweaty, confusing in between, the stretch between two selves. This is where the real work happens. When you no longer panic when fear shows up, but choose to breathe instead. When you don't force yourself to feel good, but allow yourself to feel honestly and return gently to presence. When you teach your body, joy is safe, peace is normal, abundance is allowed. You're not just creating a new life. You're teaching every part of you to live there. So, what do you do when fear shows up again? You don't push it away. You don't beat yourself up. You don't assume you're back at square one. You simply pause. You breathe. You observe the fear without becoming it. You remember, this is not a stop sign. This is a sign that I'm in motion. I'm growing. I'm becoming. I'm expanding. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to stay present. And as you do, your nervous system will begin to trust this new way of living. Not all at once, but breath by breath, step by step, moment by moment. Let's get real. You're going through changes. Maybe you're shifting jobs, healing from a breakup, starting something new, or letting go of an old identity. These moments can be exciting, but let's be honest, they're also scary. Have you ever noticed what your body does when fear shows up during those changes? Maybe your stomach tightens. Maybe your hands go cold. Maybe your chest feels heavy. That's your body sending a signal. Hey, something's happening. This feels unfamiliar. The key to staying aligned during transformation isn't about ignoring that fear. It's about listening to it without letting it take over. Instead of running from the feeling, try this. Put your hand on your heart. Slow down your breathing. Gently tell yourself, I feel scared, but I know I'm not in danger. I'm just growing. See, you don't need to fight the fear. You don't need to push it away. Sit with it. Be kind to it. Treat it like a part of you that's just a little unsure. When you love that scared part instead of rejecting it, something beautiful starts to happen. The fear begins to change. It doesn't disappear, but it softens. It becomes less like a monster and more like a message. That message is simple. You're not just imagining change. You're becoming it. You're not just dreaming about a better future. You're stepping into it with your whole body, your breath, your heart, and your memories. And guess what? That kind of change takes practice. Not perfection. Not force. Just small, loving practice. Every time you sit with your fear instead of running, you build strength. Every time you breathe through a trigger instead of reacting, you anchor yourself deeper into the new version of you. Let's talk about you for a moment. What usually pulls you back when you're close to a breakthrough? Is it fear of failure? Fear of being seen? Old guilt or shame? A voice in your head saying, who do you think you are? If you feel comfortable, share it with someone. Write it in a journal. Speak it out loud. Because when we name what holds us back, we take its power away. And when we realize we're not the only ones feeling it, we stop feeling so alone. Here's the truth. Every time we grow, fear comes up. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because we're doing something new. Fear isn't here to stop you. It's here to be seen, to be healed, to be held. Beneath every wave of fear are old patterns and emotional wounds, things from our past that never got a chance to be processed. They don't come up to sabotage your growth. They rise because, finally, you're strong enough to face them. The body resists growth because it remembers everything. And the unconscious mind, the part of you that stores old beliefs and traumas, it resists too. When you shift into a new version of yourself, your mind doesn't just cheer you on. It also shows you the parts of yourself that got hurt, silenced, or rejected long ago. This is why change can feel like an emotional storm. You align with your dreams, and suddenly old voices whisper, you're being selfish. You try to open your heart, and old shame rises like smoke. You commit to being free, and guilt shows up like a weight on your shoulders. It's okay. You're not broken. You're just meeting the younger versions of yourself who were trying to protect you in the past. They learned to stay quiet to avoid judgment. They learned to please others to feel loved. They learned to shrink to stay safe. But now, you are not in that old environment anymore. You're creating something new. And those old survival habits, while once helpful, no longer serve you. When fear, jealousy, anger, or self-doubt show up, they're not the enemy. They're the parts of you asking, are we really safe to grow now? And your job isn't to shout them down. It's to answer gently, yes, we're safe now. You don't have to protect me like that anymore. This is what inner work really looks like. It's not about pretending to be high vibe all the time. It's about meeting every part of you with love and maturity. And here's the powerful truth. Your shadow, the scared, insecure parts of you, they're not trying to hold you back. They're trying to come with you. They want to be included. They want to be loved. When you stop fighting them and start integrating them, your energy becomes whole. You're no longer leaking energy through internal conflict. You're no longer at war with yourself. And wholeness, that's powerful. That's magnetic. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a breakthrough. You've done the visualizations. You've set your intentions. And then, bam, something triggers you. A memory, a comment, a sudden wave of doubt. Your body reacts. You tense up. Your breath shortens. Your mind races. This is the moment of truth. You have a choice. You can collapse into the old story. This always happens. I can't do this. I'm not ready. Or you can pause. You can place your hand on your heart and say, I see you. I know you're scared. But we're not turning back. This is how you lead yourself through transformation. Not by pretending everything's perfect, but by staying present, even when it's hard. The quantum field, that invisible energy space that holds all possibilities, doesn't need you to be fearless. It needs you to be clear. And clarity doesn't mean having no fear. It means moving forward even when fear is there. This is what it means to be in alignment. Not to feel amazing all the time, but to stay connected to your truth even when your emotions are messy. It means choosing love over fear, again and again. And when you do that, you send a new message to your nervous system. You teach your body it's okay to feel. It's okay to expand. We are safe. That's emotional regulation. Not pushing feelings away, but staying awake inside them. When your body wants to shut down, you soften. When fear pulls you back, you breathe. When doubt creeps in, you stand tall and say, I'm choosing to stay. That's how real change happens. Not in one big moment, but in many small ones. In how you get out of bed in the morning. In how you respond to a triggering message. In how you open your heart even when it wants to close. These small acts are powerful. They are signals to the universe, to your body, and to your future self that say, I'm ready. I'm committed. I'm doing the work. So if you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed during your shift, know this. You're not doing it wrong. You're actually doing it right. Because the deeper the shift, the more your body and mind will ask you to be present, gentle, and grounded. You're not just learning how to manifest. You're learning how to stay present when things get uncomfortable. This is the moment where you stop being a student of personal growth and start embodying it. Not by forcing yourself to be positive, but by being honest. By choosing to stay. By choosing to breathe. By choosing to love yourself, every part, even the scared ones. This is what creates lasting transformation. When your energy becomes steady, not because you're pretending everything's okay, but because you've stopped abandoning yourself. You become trustworthy to yourself and to the new reality you're calling in. You're not faking it until you make it. You're healing it until you become it. And that's a different kind of power. A deeper, more sustainable power. It lives in your breath, your posture, your presence. And when you become that steady presence, the field, the universe, responds. Because you're no longer scattered. You're clear. And clarity is magnetic. So as we move forward, remember this. The real leap isn't about getting rid of fear. It's about learning how to move with it. To ride the waves of transformation instead of being thrown off by them. You already know how to visualize. You already know how to dream. Now it's time to anchor into your body. To be the calm inside the storm. To let the fear come and choose love anyway. That's quantum presence. That's real transformation. And you've got everything you need inside you already. You don't have to hide your feelings. In fact, the real strength comes from letting yourself feel everything fully, without shutting down, running away, or losing your sense of self. When you allow emotions to move through you instead of pushing them away, something powerful happens. You don't just wish for a better life, you start creating it. You shift from reacting to life to responding with calm and clarity. You become a grounding force, a light in the middle of confusion, a steady heart in the middle of the storm. This journey isn't about becoming perfect or being positive all the time. It's about learning how to stay present, especially when emotions feel heavy or overwhelming. It's about choosing to breathe when you could easily panic, choosing softness when you could shut down. These little moments might seem small, but they're not. Every time you choose to stay grounded when things get hard, you're making real changes in your energy. You're telling life, I'm ready, not just with your words, but with your actions and energy. If you're reading this right now, and something inside of you feels touched, maybe you feel a little lighter, maybe something deep within feels like it's waking up, then know this isn't just a message. It's a reminder, a signal, a moment from your higher self, the universe, God, or your angels, saying, you're on the right track. If this speaks to you, consider staying connected to this space. Follow the journey. Subscribe. Keep showing up. Because this is more than just words on a screen. It's a shift. It's you participating in your own healing, your own rising, your own becoming. Let's take a moment to look back. You've probably been through more than you ever let people see. You faced things that shook you. You've carried worries, doubts, and fears. And yet, here you are, still showing up, still choosing to grow. That alone is worth honoring. Because real strength doesn't always look like a loud breakthrough. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's invisible. Sometimes it looks like taking one more breath when you didn't think you could, or choosing not to react, even when everything inside you wanted to. That's courage. That's transformation. We often imagine quantum leaps as these big, explosive moments where our whole life changes in an instant. But in truth, the most powerful shifts happen in silence. They happen when no one else is watching. When you make small, conscious choices to stay in alignment, even when the world around you feels chaotic. Those are the leaps that shape your future. They're not loud. They're steady. They happen when you whisper to yourself, I will keep going, even if you're tired, even if you're afraid. A lot of people believe that once they reach a certain level of growth, things will just stay easy. That once they've healed enough, they'll never fall again. But that's not how it works. Growth is not a straight line. It's more like a dance, sometimes flowing, sometimes stumbling. Some days you'll feel deeply connected to your inner peace. Other days, you might feel like you're starting over. And that's okay. Falling doesn't mean you failed. It means you're still in the process, still learning. It's the universe giving you feedback, gently guiding you back to yourself. True spiritual growth isn't about avoiding pain or emotion. It's about moving through those things with more awareness, more softness, and more compassion each time. It's about remembering that alignment isn't a place you arrive at once and stay forever. It's something you come back to again and again. It's a living relationship between your awareness and your energy. The more you return to yourself, the more natural it becomes. Not because fear disappears, but because it no longer controls your decisions. You do. And here's something you may have started to realize. The version of you living the life you dream about, the version that feels whole, fulfilled, peaceful, isn't far away. They're not waiting for you in another country or 5 years down the road. They're already inside you. They're already here, vibrating at a higher frequency, just waiting for you to catch up. Every time you pause and breathe, every time you choose presence instead of panic, you step closer to becoming that version of you. not as a fantasy, but as your reality, as your new identity. Real transformation doesn't happen by forcing things. It happens when you practice truth in the middle of chaos. When you remember who you are, even when your old patterns try to drag you back. When you choose to honor your growth instead of giving in to fear. It happens when you keep going, even on the days when you feel unsure or scared. Because the moment you decide not to abandon yourself, even when it's hard, something shifts. You become someone the universe can trust. Someone whose energy is steady and magnetic. The universe doesn't respond just to your words or wishes. It responds to what you embody. And when your energy becomes more consistent, when your inner world becomes more peaceful, the outer world begins to reflect that. New doors open. Aligned people show up. Opportunities find their way to you. Not because you force them, but because you're finally aligned with them. Your signal is no longer scattered with fear and doubt. It's clear. It's calm. It's yours. So if part of you is still wondering, is this working? Am I really changing anything? The answer is yes. Every time you choose peace over panic, breath over breakdown, softness over defense, you're collapsing old patterns. You're choosing a new way of being. And it's working. Even if you don't see big changes yet, they're on their way. The leap has already begun. You're already in the shift. You're not behind. You're not broken. And you're not too late. You are in motion. You are awakening. You are unfolding into who you were always meant to be. So right now, take a deep breath. Let your body relax. Let your shoulders drop. Let yourself come back to this moment, not with urgency, but with devotion, with love for the path you're on, with trust that every step is leading you home to yourself. And if you really tune in, you might feel it, that soft electric feeling in the air, like something beautiful is waiting just beneath the surface. That quiet joy that rises when you choose to stay true to yourself, even when the past tries to call you back. That's your signal. That's your higher self saying, keep going. You're doing it. That's the frequency of your new reality. So what now? You keep walking. You keep building. You keep deepening your relationship with the version of you that knows how to stay grounded even when fear whispers in your ear. Because fear will show up again. But this time, you won't run. You'll breathe with it. You'll sit beside it. You'll keep your heart open even when it wants to close. And in doing so, you'll shift again. You'll rise again. You'll keep becoming. The moment you choose regulation over reaction, coherence over chaos, trust over survival, that's when the leap stops being just an idea and becomes your everyday life. You're not waiting for the shift anymore. You are the shift. You're living it. And the more you return to that truth, the stronger your signal becomes. The more magnetic your energy grows. And the more life begins to meet you with exactly what you've been ready for all along. So if you've made it this far, take a moment to honor yourself, to celebrate the quiet courage that brought you here. You've already shifted something big inside you. Maybe no one else sees it yet, but you feel it. You know it. And that's enough. Keep going. You're doing better than you think. The path ahead isn't just a possibility, it's already unfolding. And you're already walking it. One breath, one choice, one return at a time. You are not lost. You are not alone. You are becoming exactly who you were created to be.